Hi, Mitch here, the retired pharmacist with another video on preventive health. I decided to talk about a subject that many people might be unaware of. First, ask yourself why people with more fat cells around the abdomen, apple-shaped bodies, have a higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and autoimmune diseases than people with pear-shaped bodies or high fat on hips and thighs. Science research has found that excess abdominal fat, or visceral fat as it is called, increases insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is the inability for insulin to drive glucose into the cells of the body to be used for energy. A patient can produce high levels of insulin, but the insulin is ineffective. Subcutaneous fat, which is higher up, versus visceral fat, when removed via liposuction, has no beneficial effect on insulin resistance. On the other hand, scientists found that the fat called visceral fat, which surrounds the organs around the abdomen, pancreas, liver, kidneys, and intestines, is very difficult to remove and is the cause of inflammation and insulin resistance, leading to diabetes and other diseases, including cancer. Visceral fat secretes high level of damaging interleukin-6, reactive protein, and inflammatory cytokines. All of these substances cause chronic inflammation, insulin resistance or diabetes, hypertension, atherosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries, cancer, and a whole group of autoimmune diseases. The next question we have to ask ourselves is, how do we avoid the accumulation of visceral fat? Visceral fat is formed more from carbohydrates and high fructose corn syrup than from monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, and saturated fats. Obviously, we want to avoid the damaging trans fats, which raise inflammatory bad cholesterol LDLs and lower good cholesterol HDLs. When a person's diet is composed of more than 60% carbohydrate, the liver becomes confused and makes more damaging inflammatory cholesterol, or LDLs. If carbohydrates are absent, the liver metabolism is able to react properly to fats and proteins and keep less inflammatory cholesterol from entering the bloodstream. These fats and proteins are then metabolized as a source of energy. Many people believe that fatty liver comes from eating too many fats, but this is just not true. Fatty liver disease comes from an overabundance of carbohydrates and alcohol. Alcohol, like beer, has an average of 13 grams of carbohydrate per 12 ounces. I next wanted to talk about the damaging effect of high fructose corn syrup in the production of visceral fat and fatty liver disease. High fructose corn syrup is 55% fructose and 45% glucose. When fructose is metabolized by the liver, it is immediately converted into damaging inflammatory visceral fat. The glucose part of the syrup is metabolized with the aid of insulin to drive the glucose into the cells and be used for energy. Consuming large quantities of high fructose corn syrup is like asking to get type 2 diabetes. To avoid this mistake, a person simply looks on the food labels of the packaging of foods and drinks for nutritional facts. High fructose corn syrup has been put on the restricted list in Europe. That's right, restricted list in Europe, high fructose corn syrup. This is not the case in the US, probably because of the low cost of production. I want to leave you with one alarming fact. Visceral fat secretes inflammatory substances into the bloodstream that cause too many diseases to list. This list of inflammatory substances is as follows, in addition to what I already mentioned. This list includes leptin, adiponectin, resistin, and tumor necrosis factor. All of these substances contribute to cancer, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases. This is all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the content and derived some benefit from this material in order to help you with your preventive health journey. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Mitch, the retired pharmacist, signing out.